It began with what seemed like an innocent text from my wife, Amanda, late one night. I was slumped on the couch, drained from a long day, when my phone buzzed. Don't overthink it. Flirting doesn't mean anything. At first, I chuckled quietly, assuming she was brushing off some harmless banter with a coworker. But then that uneasy feeling crept in, the sharp instinct that something wasn't right. Deep down, I knew this wasn't as casual as it sounded. For months, I noticed the secret smiles, the late-night messages she deleted too quickly, the distracted look whenever her phone lit up. It wasn't just harmless flirting. It was something deeper, a slow, steady crack forming in our trust. I typed my reply, calm and measured. Neither does our marriage anymore. No yelling, no begging, no anger. Just 6 simple words, cold, deliberate, and heavy with everything I kept buried. The doubt, the hurt, the quiet frustration. I could already picture her face as she read it. How the shock would hit her when she realized I wasn't reacting the way she expected. She had anticipated panic, confrontation, or desperate pleading. But instead, she found stillness, control, and clarity. That terrified her more than any argument ever could. When Amanda came home later that night, her confident stride faltered the second she saw me. She tried to laugh it off with a teasing smile and a light tone, pretending nothing was wrong. But I just sat there, calm, unbothered, watching. She had braced for a confrontation, but what she faced instead was quiet authority. I didn't need to raise my voice or demand explanations. My silence, my steady gaze, said everything. That was the moment she realized she misjudged me completely, and that realization hit her harder than anger ever could. I poured myself a drink, took a slow sip, and let her excuses spill out. She went on about harmless texts, inside jokes, nothing serious. I didn't interrupt. I let her words unravel, each excuse collapsing under its own weight. Months of manipulation and deception now stood exposed before someone who had seen it all, remembered it all, and stayed calm through every bit of it. The balance between us had shifted, and she was just beginning to understand that. Over the next few days, I kept my composure. No repeated confrontations. No dramatics. I simply observed. I watched, listened, and quietly noted everything. The tone of her voice, her attempts at charm, her subtle lies. Every move she made only reinforced what I already knew. She no longer controlled the story. My calm, deliberate restraint did what shouting never could. It showed her the truth. Soon, even her friends and co-workers noticed the difference. The carefree confidence she once carried was gone, replaced by cautious calculation. She'd built her comfort on control, but that illusion had crumbled. The quiet steadiness I maintained had completely changed our dynamic. By week's end, her anxiety was impossible to miss. She approached me differently now, careful, hesitant, testing her words. I didn't scold or accuse. I just stayed composed, letting her realize that she couldn't escape the consequences anymore. Her harmless flirting had become something much heavier, something she could no longer minimize. Every look, every word between us carried weight. Finally, one evening, Amanda admitted what I had known all along. There were no tears or grand confessions, just a quiet acceptance that she had crossed a line and misread my silence. The charm and manipulation that once worked effortlessly no longer did. My calm, intentional response had revealed the truth she had tried to hide, that the marriage she assumed would always forgive had finally reached its limit. From that moment on, everything changed. Amanda's tone, her choices, her demeanor, they all reflected a newfound awareness. The playful teasing, the casual dismissiveness, all gone, replaced with restraint, respect, and the understanding that real consequences aren't always loud. Some lessons come softly. She learned that power doesn't always shout. It watches, waits, and moves precisely. That single text, 6 words of quiet resolve, had done what weeks of arguments never could. It shifted everything. Amanda learned, though far too late, that underestimating a man who observes, waits, and acts with quiet certainty is a dangerous mistake. In that moment, I didn't just regain her respect. I reclaimed control. proving that sometimes calm decisiveness is the most powerful response of all.